Hello YouTube, it's Wednesday night,
You know what time it is?
it's 8 o'clock.
Let's get going, shall we?
So, we've got a new backdrop. It looks very kind of professional now as opposed to what it was before. Very dark and dingy last time, so it looks better. We've got 2 pairs of leathers hanging up, we've got a couple of helmets scattered around, and we want some posters just to fill the gaps. So we're after posters. If you know anybody that's got any bike related posters or anything, let us know. We can sort postage cost and everything out, but we just want to kind of fill the white gaps up a little bit with motorcycle stuff.
Yeah, so we're just trying it out. We're going to see what happens, make it a little bit more dynamic. We'll see what happens and take it as we go. Sound might be a little bit different. We're working on things, improving every time, so we'll go from here and see what it looks like.
But yeah, so let's get on to the first bit of news type stuff.
Bit of news. Why? What's going on, Alex?
So, basically, we've had quite a few kind of launches this week. KTM have come out, and in what's normally quite a strange event, really, they've announced both teams in the same kind of press conferencey day type thing. So we've had the factory KTM, and then we've also had Tech 3 or Tech 3, depending on whether you're French or normal.
I'll go Tech 3.
So big change within KTM this year. They replaced riders. So we've got Brad Binder now in the factory. I can't remember, was he factory last year? I can't remember. I think he was. But the factory team's looking smart. They've still got like the Red Bull branding. The big change really comes with Tech 3. Now, for some reason, Red Bull have dropped out the sponsorship, so there's no like Red Bull Cola or Red Bull Organics sponsorship on there. So it's just literally just an orange bike with a couple of elf stickers on, French team, French, sponsor, that kind of thing. So it looks pretty weird not seeing a bike with sponsorship branding on, and it's. I mean, everyone always says, well, a person says that an orange bike is always fastest, but it's weird to see it not having stickers all over it.
Yeah, so it's got that very minimalistic approach. They've just got the big KTM.
We have got a picture of it, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's just got the big... There you go. It's just got the big KTM and the Ready to Race, along with a few of the elf stickers, just scattered about.
Now, it's not particularly worrying, because we are still weeks and weeks away from season opening. And a team with the resources of KTM, the experience of Tech 3, I can't imagine would have trouble pulling in a sponsor. There's obviously plenty of room on the bike to put something up there, so it could be something there's a work in progress, or there's still plenty of time to get in. So it's not particularly panic stations as of yet for KTM.
No, I don't think that it is. I think they'll definitely, they'll open up the spots, and anybody who wants the sponsorship can quite happily drop in. I don't think it'd be a problem to actually... I think it'd be a good opportunity for anybody who wants to sponsor the team and maybe wants to break in with like an entry-level deal, because KTM, they want the sponsorship, and they want the things, the packages that comes along with that.
The other thing is, it's KTM's 5th season in MotoGP now. They've been getting better and better every year. Obviously, the big help last year was Danny Pedrosa came along and help them out. Yeah. Whether he I don't know whether he's sworn to secrecy about like some of the previous dealings with other teams. Obviously being a big Honda rider, well, not big because Danny Pedrosa is tiny, but lifelong Honda rider per se. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Pedrosa influence kind of comes along and has any effect. But also they've got Petrucci from Ducati. He's moved to the Tech 3 team. And it's like, that could be... If the bike's as good as it was last year, then he says, or he's got an awful lot of experience. So if he sorts himself out and gets himself back on track, then that could be a dark horse there.
Yeah, definitely. I think with it being their 5th season, they really do need to pull something out. I don't know. If anything, I think maybe the Tech 3 team might do a little bit better. I'm a little bit on the fence with them,
but they're both on top class machinery, so it's good. So as well as KTM having their launch, Ducati made theirs. No really kind of big surprises. We knew the lineup. The bike's not really changed a massive amount because obviously engine development's frozen, aerodynamic, that's all frozen. So I guess the only really thing is paint jobs, maybe little bits with non-homologated parts, i.e. if you've got swing arm lengths and chassis and things like that. But engines have to run 2020 homologated spec. Same with aero, that has to be 2020 homologated spec. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not really going to change. It's all been a cost saving exercise for this year because obviously coronavirus and to try and level the playing field and keep costs down. They've said we're going to kind of limit what you can change really. So that's been quite an interesting one. The ride lineup, Jack Miller, kind of. I think that's his 6th season, or is he 26? Either way, I can't remember it. But he's been around for a long time anyway. He's going to. I think this is the year he's got to really step up and get it nailed.
Yes, and I think last season, it was definitely a good start for Jack. It definitely improved, and he definitely showed that he is made of something else, and he is able to come out and work hard. And I mean, he did it last year, so hopefully he can just pull through a bit this year and keep going and use the factory team to his best advantage and develop as a better rider.
I think we touched on this one last week as well. I think that obviously Dovizioso isn't riding for them anymore. Neither is Petrucci, who's obviously gone to KTM now. I kind of sit on the fence as to how much of a loss they are. I know Ducati kind of has a habit of getting rid of people when they're kind of, or not seeing their worth, but I kind of think that I can't understand why they didn't want to keep Dovizioso.
I think maybe there was a bit of infighting, maybe, I don't know. I would, have a little an inkling that that's what happens with Ducati, is there's a bit of friction going on and it leads to a bit of a struggle between the team.
Yeah,
it'll go from there.
It is a big shame. I really think that if Marquez doesn't come back this year, then he probably could have won last year. But the awkward thing is, again, that last year everyone was saying, oh, yeah, Dovi is a certainty. And then look what happened. Absolutely nothing was certain last year. So it was quite an interesting season last year. Next year probably will continue. Next photo.
Right, what's this?
So this is, staying on the Ducati theme, Claudio Domenicali, the head of Ducati, he's come out, put a tweet out saying that there was a MotoGP test in Jerez. Now, there was a Michelin tyres on all of the bikes. There was a MotoGP full prototype bike lapping around, and that did a 1:41.1 lap of Jerez. And then there was two Panigale V4Ss, the road bikes that, in theory, anybody can go and buy, on the same tyres, and that did a 1:43.3. So just over kind of 2 seconds in it, from a bike that we can go and buy at a shop.
Yeah, that's definitely great to see that, like you talk about, the trickle-down technology that we get from racing. It's coming down, and we're definitely seeing it come out in GP down into consumer bikes. Thinking that gap's not too bad, actually. I think that's quite... when Ducati brag about how much MotoGP tech they put into their releases, they're not playing about. From what they've said, it really does look like we're getting a GP spec bike, maybe slight different, but just with a few road legal essential bits that it needs. That is really impressive to come in and be 2.2 seconds slower than the MotoGP machine.
Yeah, it's showing how much closer that gap is, and it does make you wonder. Okay, so if MotoGP really wants to cut costs, let's stop having these £1 million bikes going round, and let's just put everybody on a V4S, or chuck it on normal superbikes, and you're saving millions, and you're only 2 seconds slower. It's interesting actually when you look at World Superbike times from testing that happened back in November. So the MotoGP bike doing a 141 was slower than some of the World Superbike times, but obviously November's going to be a bit warmer than February. You'd kind of say a little bit.
And tyres come in as a factor as well.
Yeah, but Johnny Ray on the Kawasaki did a 138.3. So, I mean, I'm kind of thinking that, that it's a good lap time of 141.1, but that still really wasn't pushing it by the sounds of it. I'd have to look. Well, hold on, let me have a look at what the MotoGP lap time was.
Do we know who was riding these bikes?
They did put them out, and obviously you could tell by the photograph. If you click on your next photo,
have we got another photo?
There is a photograph.
Oh, there we go. Right.
So you would be able to work out and see who's riding what. So I'm just going to have a look and see what the lap times for the Jerez race was in 2020.
We've got a 51.
Just out of curiosity to see what happened.
We've got a 51, is that a 63, and a 5 or a 9?
So yeah, you'd be able to find out who they are. I don't even remember what the names are off the top of my head.
You're terrible.
But according to Wikipedia's, the fastest race lap from Jerez was Marc Marquez, who's he, on a 138.3. A pole position was a 136.7 from Fabio Quartararo's. So the 141.1 is a bit slower than what you'd expect, but weather's moved on, and kind of it is winter test. They don't want to injure himself before the season starts. So I mean, it's interesting to me that it is that close between them.
Yeah, it really does look cool if Ducati are able to advertise that when you buy this, you're getting a, shall we say, 90% MotoGP bike.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which should be great. Right, what's next?
Well, hit the switch.
Hit the switch.
So we've got this guy. This is Marc Marquez, and
who?
Exactly. He has been a bit of a who recently. He's had the shoulder operation, and I think this is like the first photo that's come out of him actually on a bike. Now I know he's not riding it and he's just sitting on it, but I think this is the first time that we've actually seen him on a bike. He's been putting photos of his recovery on Twitter and everywhere, and you can see him, he's doing physio and he's getting back on the weights and all that kind of thing. But we haven't actually seen him on a bike or in leathers or anything like that yet. So,
well, it's good to see that he's in leathers, because it just means whatever is happening in terms of the swelling and pain and the mobility of the shoulder, maybe they've made some adjustments to the leathers, I don't know. But it just goes to show that he can get into leathers without problems.
He's also not got his big carbon cast on.
Yeah.
So that's gone in the past couple of weeks. I don't know if you remember seeing he had like a big carbon fibre kind of arm cast on.
He did have a big sling as well.
Yeah, big sling. That's all gone. He's on leathers. He's on the bike. I think Honda's reveals are next week. So we've got factory Honda first, and then we've got the two LCR riders on 2 separate days.
Which would be good.
Which is Weird, I don't know why they're doing that on 2 separate days. It must be a sponsorship thing. But that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, is Marquez going to be fit? I mean, this is still the big thing. You know, he's sitting on the bike and he's smiling photographs and everything. But is he bike fit? Do we think he'll be ready for the first race?
I'm just having a quick Google to see.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I can't make my mind up yet. And if he does come back and is healthy, will he be the Marc Marquez that we know?
Yeah, I mean, I am wary that he's going to have a bit of a Pedrosa curse now.
Right.
Is because Danny Pedrosa, one of the greatest racers of all time. I don't care, you can fight me on it. 2011, Pedrosa had a really bad shoulder injury, and that led him to. It was really bad surgery. He had to have a plate put in, and then a plate taken out, and then other bits put in. And he missed, 2 or 3 races that season. But I don't think he ever really came back to any strength afterwards, and he was always having issues with more breakages. So what I don't want to happen is more re-injuries, more risks, which puts Mark out further. I'd rather him come back later and stronger than
fully fixed and ready to go again. Yeah, and I completely understand what you mean on that. I mean, I really want him to come back 100% Marquez, to give 100% again
and not be
the
scared.
Marquez that we know. But
I think being scared would be the big problem.
I don't necessarily think scared. I think maybe scared's not the right word. And I mean,
well, I don't mean scared, but hesitant sometimes. Maybe
does it
not
come down
taking
to a
the
bit
risk.
of self-doubt?
I wouldn't go as far as self-doubt. I'd go about worry. If you're already hurt, you always worry about hurting that part again. So I don't want Marquez to come back in and not take those risks that he used to, or that doing the tack
is
is
an age thing as well. He's getting on a bit now. He's getting old. He's not. He's not. He's not a 20-year-old.
He's what, 26?
28. Is he 28? Today he's 28. But he's not a young spring chicken anymore. And I know, as I'm 30, and when you hurt yourself, it takes you longer to get over.
He's 28.
The fact that you're hurt, as opposed to when you're young, that recovery time is a bit. It's very different.
But we can go back to Danny, we can go back to Rossi, we can go back to Lorenzo. All of these boys are slightly older.
But look how it affected Lorenzo. Lorenzo fell off, he hurt his back, and then he was never the same Lorenzo again. And he came out and openly said, if I remember rightly, that it was because he didn't want to, like they told him, if he falls off again, that's it. That's the end of your career.
Yeah.
Your back is so broken that you can't do it again. So it was, that's what slowed him down.
Yeah,
so it was a weird one.
Yeah, definitely. But what I don't want to happen is Marquez to get injured, come back, and end up like Jorge Lorenzo doing monster advertisement deals every 2 seconds on Instagram.
Well, got to make the monies.
Well, I don't think he needs to worry about that. But yeah, I would rather Marquez be safe, come back later, and give us some good racing than struggle and get hurt again and have to leave.
So what's next? What's the next photo?
I think we've got it's the Yamaha launch.
So Yamaha have also launched this week in like the most hilariousest green screen pixelated kind of look at us, we're trying to pretend that we're at a track but we're not actually at a track. With the two riders on the bike and Lynn Jarvis standing there. I think we actually have got a photo of this again. And it's
there
like
Yeah, I think this is great.
It's hilarious because you can tell that they're blatantly not at the track by the fact that the gantry above the track isn't even square. So it's kind of like, it's like, come on, boys, give us a good effort on what you're doing.
So one thing that I love is now, especially with sports broadcasting, is this technology has become available. But I don't know why Yamaha have decided to say, sod the usual launch that we normally have, we'll just do it in a weird digital way. So if you're covering a race or something like that, this would be a great idea, a great opportunity to use that technology. But I don't really think it's great for the reveal, because all of the photos, they look weird, they look terrible. The lighting in them is so off because they want light on the bikes from all directions, but that doesn't sync up with the PlayStation graphics I've seen it called from the back. I've seen better graphics in the latest MotoGP game.
Yeah, and it is really bad, and it's not just, oh yeah, we're just picking faults or anything. It's not even close. It's so ridiculously off. It's not. It's almost as if they've done it as a joke, but then kind of at the end, kind of like it's not a joke.
No, I think that was whoever made that decision. You didn't do a good one. I'll just put that out there. You should have just, playing background. Like take every launch as normal. Yeah, sure, you'd be limited to your 2 riders and maybe your camera crew, if that. But there's no need to overcomplicate it, because we're not after bells, whistles and fireworks. We're after a reveal of the bike.
Yeah, very true. And obviously we know that the bike's not really changed regulations, as we said earlier. So the only thing really that's changed is the rider and the paint job, which hasn't really changed a lot anyway. It's weird not seeing a 46 on the front of the bike.
But I think that's just development. I think that's just, we can't have Rossi on the factory Yamaha all the time. As much as, everyone loves him, and as much as he's been there for a long time, the deal's been done and Fabio's come in. Yeah.
And Fabio has come in. It'll be interesting to see what happens now that Fabio is here, and how, whether he's going to continue what happened last year in riding really well but then kind of teetering off at the end, whether the factory will give him some extra support and here you go, let's really try and get this sorted and let's get better, or whether it's going to be the same again. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think Fabio now has the factory behind him, and he should be able to come out and perform better. And if he doesn't, I'd be very upset. But then the problem that happened with Maverick as well is he had 2016 season. He had a great start, and then it just
kind of lost his confidence and lost his battle. Lost his bottle with racing. If he wasn't at the front, then he was kind of screwed a little bit, and then for the rest of it, it was, it wasn't really good for him. So it's pretty bad. And I mean, all these articles are kind of guest writers covering a lot of racing for us this year. Becca, she's wrote everything up on the website, all the new team launches. We're obviously got Honda coming out this week. I think we've got Aprilia at some point
in
soon
the future
as well. LCR are coming up a couple of days after factory Honda. We're also going to try and get some more BSB on the website, maybe even World Superbikes as well, if anybody's interested in World Superbikes. But yeah, we're trying to pack a bit more racing on into the website as well. So that's going to be a good one for us.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
I don't know, what were you going to say?
I can't remember, I've forgotten it. Yes, it's definitely... Oh, I know what it was.
What was it?
They're going to have to reveal soon, because there's less than 2 months, just over 1 month, to the season start.
Yeah. And
so they're going to have to reveal soon.
I don't know, I think we were due some proper testing as well, but I can't remember if it got cancelled because of the coronavirus or not. I think because it was Malaysia, it got cancelled. but I'll have to check that. But yeah, it's an interesting time, and this season should be really exciting.
It should. Have we got any more MotoGP stuff?
I think that's it. I think we've got a couple of questions from people from last week that we've got to answer.
Right.
So let's press that button.
There we go. Button's pressed.
So the first one comes from George, and he says, "Since you all know Orange is the fastest colour, do you think Tech 3 will win the championship this year?"
I think.
Well, firstly, is Orange the fastest colour?
No, because red ones go faster.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
always been the rule. If you know where that's from, good. Put it in the comments. Cause
So basically, George, you need to paint your bike red now, not
now,
orange.
this is the thing: is
Make Ted 3 red. Ted the red.
yeah, red. What we all know, red ones go faster. It's why Ducatis are good. It's because red ones go faster. So the only issue is, red ones often get pulled more by police because they're going faster. So I think the issue with that is, no, I don't think Tech 3 will have a championship this year. They might be the best of the satellite teams, but they definitely won't be able to outwin a championship.
I'd like to see it happen.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I would love to see it.
My head says no. My heart says yes. I'd love to see it happen, but my brain kind of says no, because to start with, would the factory KTM, if it's neck and neck, would the factory KTM let that happen? It's the old wives' tale that Yamaha always. Well, I don't even think it's a wives' tale. I think it's completely true. But the Yamaha factory team always got like 500 revs more than SRT, so they're kind of limiting that a little bit. So maybe something like that happens. But then also you kind of think, well, KTM want to win a championship, so KTM will say, there you go, throw the kitchen sink at it. So it'd be interesting to see it happen.
But going back to that rev limit, the factory boys had more problems with their engine rev limits being overstressed this season than the Petronas boys. So that kind of worked against them in a way, because they completely backfired and took grid penalties for engine swaps and had to do the entire investigation on those broken engines. So
either way, I think this season's going to be a mega season, because nobody knows what's going to happen.
No, and if orange, like Judge says in the comments, if orange is definitely the fastest colour, it's probably going to be a Repsol.
So would you bet on orange?
I'll put a 5 on a Repsol.
On a Repsol?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So it's an orange Repsol, not an orange KTM.
Yeah.
So which Repsol?
Oh no, just a team. Just a team championship.
Right, okay.
Team
so
championship.
you're not going to speculate whether it's going to be Paul Espargaro winning the championship on his debut season on a factory Honda?
Well, we go back to his debut season with Suzuki, and that wasn't really too disappointing. Alex Marquez in his debut season on the Honda did very well.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. He started off slow and steady, but by the end of it, he was kind of really getting there, and it was.
I think part of that was due to because of how many crashes he had during testing. He had a lot of crashes in testing, so I think it's. Sorry about that. I keep pressing the wrong keyboard. I've got too many keyboards.
That's something that everybody's jealous with. Makes it look busy.
Yeah, I've got too many keyboards. I'll move this one over here.
You need to press the arrow button on that next, because we need the next question.
Oh, well, I was going to address George's comment that he said by saying that...
Well, you've already said it's going to be Repsol winning,
No,
not
but
KTM.
KTM have won more races than anyone else last year.
Yeah.
See, like...
Yeah, but they had more bikes on the grid than everybody else bar Ducati, really.
Well, 5 days ago, last year, they won 2 races.
Yeah.
Pretty sure there was more wins from Yamaha.
I don't know.
As
Anyway.
winners of the final round of 2020, Brad Binder.
Anyway, next question. Let's move on.
Confusing
An orange bike might win, but it might be a KTM, and it might also be a Repsol.
Yeah, I would put more money on the Repsol than the KTM. Just saying. And I don't have a lot of money, so...
Yeah, well, I know that one.
Right. So, we have Phil here asking about video and camera kit that we've used, that we've covered in a previous session.
So, Phil is a rapid training coach. So he goes out and teaches people how to ride better. And one of these techniques that these rider training, I know Neil Gruffalo Scoot, he'll go out for a ride with you and he will video the ride from like in front and behind, and then he'll do you like a commentary over the top to say you need to do this better, or you're doing this wrong, or you know, such and such a kind of thing. So what Phil's asking for is basically what experience have we got with running cameras on bikes, and the only really experience that we've got is running GoPros, which isn't really a permanent thing. You know, you put it on, you use it for an hour, the battery goes flat, you get 45 minutes worth of footage, and then you have to kind of either replace the battery or put it on charge, or your memory card will be full. But what you can get is a proper, you know, car style dash cam system, which is hardwired into the bike.
Yeah, so with the GoPro, I think you get the benefits of the flexibility. I think you get the benefits of how versatile the camera can be, and you get good quality out of it as well. Don't pander to him. You'll make it. We've seen you, Martin.
Yeah,
we've seen you. So
seen
you're side railing us. So the GoPro, most of them now are at least 1080p 60, which is the quality that you want for video. And the GoPro Sessions now, which are the really small cube ones, are actually still really good quality. They're easy to sync up and easy to use. So if you don't mind having the little bit of the faff of thinking about charging, maybe getting one for the front, one for the back. And
they're not a permanent solution.
No, they're not though. So there's a few out there.
There's one called a company called Innovate who make front and rear cameras. They hardwire in. They'll also do like a looping so that it will record over and over and over. But also you can have like a massive memory card in there so you can record. I think they'll even do like 512 gigabyte memory cards, which will last forever. They're coming out with a new front and rear camera system. I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming out soon, called the K5. It's apparently the first motorcycle dash cam system with a 4K, you know, 4K
resolution. So
so that's a 4K camera on the front and a 1080 on the back.
Or you could swap it around and have a bit of a mix around. But if you need something straight away, I've always heard good things about Roadhawk as well. They are a very conventional dash cam style for bikes. They're very easy to fit, which is unlike the GoPros where you have to kind of be very creative on how you mount things. Because the issue with the GoPros is how you stick stuff. And if you're not worried about sticking stuff to your bike, then it's not a problem.
That makes fitting so much easier if you're doing that. If you can put like GoPro mounts on, or even some of these proper dash cam ones come with like a proper hardwired kit where you plug everything in. It's got inline fuses. It's all tailored under the seat. The wiring's hidden, and they'll have a clamp that goes around the suspension fork, or they'll like under the air vent, or you know, in the air scoop, something like that. Because it doing that, it keeps it out of the way of stone damage, it keeps it out of the way of the wind, so that you're not getting wind noise over it. You can actually hear what you need to hear. So overall, there's a lot of systems out there. We might be getting hold of one of the Innovate systems in the couple of weeks to give that a go.
So when we do,
we'll put some footage up and give it a go and see what happens on that.
And we'll definitely think about how fitting it could help, because camera systems on a bike can always help, whether it's for dash cam stuff, whether it's for helping other people, whether it's just for recording if you're going anywhere nice. It's definitely worth the investment sometimes.
You see, some people like that, whereas I kind of sit on the fence a little bit, because I don't often like having it's nice to have security, so if something happens you've got it on there, but also no bike is kind of, we like to enjoy ourselves.
Okay, I'll let you phrase that liberally as you will.
You know, we like to. We're all motorcyclists. It's our hobby, and regardless of what your hobby is, you're going to enjoy yourself. And you know, sometimes that make things that you might not necessarily want on film.
Right. We'll leave it there. What's next?
But it's true, though.
No, I could understand because I've tried to put things together for you of clips and seen some things that we don't talk about.
Wheelies,
Yeah.
stoppies.
It's very hard to edit you
Yeah, I know.
because you do things that are naughty.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's going to do it regardless of what it is. If you're playing golf, you might knock the ball into the water every now and then, and you're not supposed to do that, but it happens. So, I mean,
So your excuse for breaking the rules is that accidents happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, officer, I slipped and ended up doing a 4-mile wheelie. Alright, we'll move on. What's next?
But
right.
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Okay, so the next question.
That's a very pretty person. It doesn't look like me at all.
No, I wonder who that is. I've got no clue.
Basically, I was
is.
just testing whether it worked, and I had to come up with like a something that kind of.
Well, you say that, but
So answer the question then. If you had to bet £100 of your own money,
I don't have that much money.
yeah, £100 of your own money on who is going to be the 2021 MotoGP champion.
Can I vote for myself?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'll take your money if you're going to vote for yourself, because you might as well just give me £100.
My 2021 MotoGP champion. I'll have to have a think. Oh, I would love to see Jack Miller. Purely because he's such a great racer. He's charismatic. He's funny. He's on the Ducati team, and we all know that I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Ducati team. Maybe Mir to take a double.
No, that's...
See, Mir could take a double if Marquez doesn't come back.
Right. Now, I think that's the big depending factor. Firstly, of whether Marquez comes back and whether Marquez is Marquez. As we said earlier, if he doesn't come back, then you could pick anybody, because between like first place to 19th place is like a second between them. So
Yeah.
it literally could be anybody. If Marquez is back and riding, well, you wouldn't really bet against Marquez, would you?
Well, that comes into does he have the confidence again? My other issue there is, if he doesn't have the confidence, is the confidence that Joan Mir got from winning going to spur him on? And is he going to come into this season fighting to remain reigning world champion?
I think the thing that helps as well is that this year is definitely going to be quicker than last year, because everybody already knows the bikes. The bikes haven't really changed. I don't know whether Michelin are changing the tyres or not. I don't know. But the engines are frozen, aero's frozen. So, in theory, they've already rode the bikes. They know the traits of the bikes. Admittedly, people that have moved teams might not know the new bike, but that's part of the learning curve. So, in that, you'd give advantage to Suzuki because they already have a really rideable bike that won the championship this year, but also their riders have stayed in the team and on the bike, so they already know the bike, the team, all that kind of thing. And, well, I mean, KTM, the rate of their development last year, that was getting faster and faster each week, so it really could be absolutely anybody.
Yes, I could see that. But as I said, I'd love Jack Miller to come out and be able to smash it. It'd be great to see Jack take a championship, because he deserves it, and he's funny and charismatic and everyone loves him. So I would put my money on Jack Miller. And
the memes would go into overdrive if Jack Miller did actually win the championship.
Oh yeah, I mean, big up to Viva Miller on Twitter, because they make me laugh every time we get some stuff with Jack Miller come out. So for him to take a championship would be brilliant. It'd be great. What's next? Ooh,
So this is Dale from Autobright. He's asking triple or twins.
triple or twins? Ooh, triples, nice sound.
Nice bark.
But twins again, V twins.
I think it depends on what twin it is because I know Dale's got Triumph Tiger triple, and he's got a Royal Enfield twin. So basically, he's asking which do we prefer. Now, if we're just going on engines, I personally would go with a triple every time.
Yes, from experience of seeing other bikes, triple sounds nicer. Most of the bikes that contain a triple are nicer, in my opinion, than a parallel twin.
What? And not an SV?
I said a parallel twin.
Oh, right, okay.
Because we all know the superior configuration for a twin is a V-twin.
Yeah.
And that means that
No,
an
I
SV...
disagree, actually.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, I've been told.
Right. So, the best configuration for a twin is a V-twin, specifically in an SV 650 or an SV 1000.
Personally, if I had to pick, I'd love a triple.
Yeah, I would go. If I had to pick between a triple or a parallel twin, triple.
I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing the new, or riding the new Speed Triple. I think that could be it could be a masterstroke really from Triumph. I'm just hoping that we get a fared version, like a new Sprint. That'd be amazing, but of course Triumph don't like fairings at the moment, so it'd be an interesting. Yeah, because bikes are being made with fairings, but Triumph are not liking fairings because they don't have a bike in the range that has a fairing on. So yeah, it's an interesting one. So me personally, I'd pick triple.
Okay.
So yeah, next question.
Next question.
Jigsaw Reed, this is off Instagram. So a KTM RC8 purchased as a future collector investment and for scaring the local sheep.
It can definitely do the latter. I think it will definitely scare some sheep out.
Yeah, so again, this is, as you say, a superior V-twin. RC8, I don't even know what the numbers sold. I haven't seen many of them around.
But I've
never rode one.
What I have heard is that people find them, if they're not used to the position, it is a little bit uncomfortable.
Well, I don't know, because it looks an aggressive position, but then when people I spoke to that have rode one say, yeah, it's actually mega, like a great riding position. Do I think it's a future classic? Well, I mean, you can pick them up on various auction sites at the moment, varying around $5,000 to, upwards. There's a couple. I mean, there's one on there for just under $5,000, ranging all the way up to kind of $11,000 if you're buying it on finance from certain people, where they're adding a massive chunk on. But do I think it'll be a future classic?
It's a rough one. I mean, it's probably one of KTM's most aggressive bikes, but I don't know if it's a classic.
The awkward thing is, it's probably got cult status with KTM fans because obviously KTM haven't made a superbike since. I don't know if we are going to get a KTM RC16 or coming from the MotoGP project. I'd love it for us to be able to. So in theory, you kind of think, well, there aren't many. Not many have been made. Some have been crashed, so there'll be less on the road than what they are, and obviously kind of low production numbers, and then even less on the roads, kind of make a recipe for investment. But will in 10 years' time be double its money? I don't know. Has it got that cult following where people go, right, I want to go out and buy a KTM RC8 instead of an R1, or instead of a GX 1000, or instead of a Ducati V4, or
Do you think it'll ever get to the point where it's hunted after like the two strokes are nowadays?
No, I don't think it will.
Yeah. So I don't think if you really do love the bike, then it might be worth it. And for the price, if you can pick it up for, there's that very nice one right there that's 2012. That's quite nice for 6,000. If you really do like it, then yeah. But I can't see it being anything close to how two strokes are followed nowadays. Go on, what's next?
You tell me.
Unpopular bike opinion from Arthur Martin that he likes the bike kit more than the actual bikes.
So someone who works obviously in the bike kit industry would say that.
Which, now, I do like kit. I would love to be able to test all the brand new kit in every way. That would be fun, and I would love to do that.
The problem is buying bike kit's expensive. It's always a cost. You can't buy everything. I'd love to be able to go out and buy a new helmet every week or a new pair of leathers every week or that, and then chances are it would be like more fun. But
I mean, I don't think I could go that far. Obviously, having a bits here and there every few months just to get stuff in, be able to review it, be able to have a look at it and see what it's like, and be able to give out that information would be great. But I don't know if I have an unpopular bike opinion.
I don't like the Super Duke.
I don't know if that's unpopular though. Lots of people don't like the
Well,
Super
it
Duke.
is because it makes me unpopular because people they don't understand me.
So you're not unpopular. You're just misunderstood.
Yeah, but I don't like the Super Duke. The Super Duke R.
No,
I didn't like it. But I don't know whether that was because it was a V-twin. I don't get the V-twin thing.
Well, no, you don't.
I mean, I'd like kind of multiple cylinders, not two.
2 is multiple.
Yeah, but 4 is better than 2.
Right.
3 is better than 2.
I don't know if I have an unpopular bike opinion. I think if you go out and get a bike in a race colour scheme...
Oh, race reps.
And you think that you're better than everybody else because you have a race rep. Like, I can understand if you went in and you had the option between a race rep and a non-race rep, and the race rep looks cool and it's the same price, and you ride them both the same and you treat them both the same and you're not a knob, then yeah, that's fine. But it's when you're on a race rep and you think that you're, for example, on a potentially a CBR 125 race rep Repsol Honda, and you think that you're Marc Marquez.
Yeah, but to 16-year-olds, a race rep's cool.
Yeah, but to everybody else...
A 17-year-old, yeah, race rep, Repsol, mega. Get it. First sports bike, brilliant. But
you didn't have a race rep.
No.
And you weren't an arse about it.
Yeah, but I wasn't 17 when I started riding.
I know people who have gone out and got race reps and have been arses about it and think that they're amazing. And I've known people who haven't and then gone out and got like a larger bike in a race rep and become that.
Well.
So I think I am not a fan of race reps for the general public.
There you go. Well, popular opinion. Ben doesn't like race reps.
No, next one. Have we got anything? Oh, right. We're over questions.
So we're over questions. We've been going for quite a while. And the awkward thing is we're over news as well. It's been a bit of a slow news week, really. Not a lot's been going on, apart from the MotoGP news. But this is a kind of, what do we say, teaser from Triumph.
Yeah.
So their next 23rd, I think it is. So kind of next Tuesday, I believe. Don't hold me to that. But they're doing like an update on the Bonneville range. So that Bonneville, of course, includes the Bonneville, the Bobber, the Bobber Black. There's all the other kind of... It's basically the twin cylinder side of the Triumph range. We don't know what it... Well, I don't know what it's got in store. but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Bearing in mind that they've already did last year the Thruxton RS as well, so that's had an update. So whether they've just kind of modernising the others to the that kind of updated spec, you could see from the teaser video that they've done, it looks like it's been upgraded to LED lighting. It looks like there's LCD displays, which I don't think the previous model had. I don't know, but yeah, it's certainly interesting. Modernising some of the old school bikes up to new school, so it could be very interesting on that one.
Well, we'll keep that updated. When that's released and we have all the information, we'll definitely go out on the website and get that up.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, today's just been a bit of a trial run to try the new studio. And see what the new backdrop's like. So if you've got any feedback on that, let us know. It's got to be better than what we had last time, though, surely.
Potentially. So, yeah, I think...
Any more questions, let us know. We'll answer some next week.
Definitely.
And, as always, we're on Twitter and all the social media, so any questions on there, let us know and we'll answer them for next week's stream.
Yeah, so just a reminder, if you're not subscribed down below, get subscribed. It's down there somewhere. Follow us on all the social medias, that's on screen, and check out the website if you haven't already, and we'll go from there and see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.